Hey everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and today we are talking about the Pulp Alley adventure game. So this is a quick little rules video, and this question comes up every once in a while. We got this question from Marcus, who says, by the rules, is it not possible to shoot and move afterwards? And then it goes on, he says, is there a design reason why the rule is as this? Okay, so really good question. It does come up every once in a while. In the sequence of events, moving is one of the first things a character does if they want to move. Obviously, a character doesn't have to move, but if you are going to move, then it's what you do first. And then after you move, then you can make an attack or you can perform an action. And to answer the first part of the question is it not possible to shoot and then move afterwards? Not normally, no. So normally you're going to move first, and then on your own activation, you're going to move first, and then after you do that, then you can perform an action or you can attack. Now, to answer the second part of the question, is there a design reason why it works that way? And yes, a big design reason why. We spent a lot of time playtesting different rules and different versions and trying to figure out, well, how do we want it to work? And in the end, this is the version that we thought worked best and was the most balanced. It made the most sense, and it wasn't as much open to funky rules fiddling. So this is why we often get that question. Is for, let's say, Sophia is back behind this building. She's exposed. Across the way, she sees Ringo and Dingo over here. This is her standing next to this building. So if you're allowed to move after you shoot, she could do something like, I'm going to shoot over here at Ringo, and then I'm going to scurry away, right? If that's normally the reason why people ask that question, because they want to be able to do something like that. The reason we chose not to do it that way is that we chose to halt the character's activation at what might be considered their most vulnerable moment, where they are most committed to doing something, such as performing an action for a plot point or making an attack against somebody. And at that moment, that's when we end their activation so that other characters are allowed to catch them at their most exposed, their most vulnerable. That is exactly why it's done that way. But I want to share another observation with you because of the way Pulp Alley tried very hard to be, realistic and faithful to the pulps and things like that. So there is something that you can do. So here's something that you could think about as well. Let's say Sophia does her attack, right? And she's poking her nose out around this. So she shoots over here at Ringo, right? And let's say whatever happens, they just end in this version right here where there's still two characters kind of hanging out like this. Now, what's going to happen when Ringo shoots back at her? Sophia has that choice to make. Well, is she hanging out around that corner? Or is she going to choose to use the dodge skill and try and get away? So what happens if if she chooses to dodge? Let's say she wanted to try to avoid just hanging out there. She's trying to hang on and not get shot down. So she chooses to use her dodge skill, and she avoids taking any hits. Because she chose to use the dodge skill, she has that option to disengage and move 1 inch away. So there is that option in there for people that want to play that defensive game, and they have multiple targets out there and they're all wanting to fire at her. As long as she's in there close to that cover and then one of them shoots at her, then she has that option to try and do the disengage move and step back, right? So that is a clever way to kind of represent that I'm stepping out to engage. I'm vulnerable. I'm exposed. Maybe somebody's going to get to throw something back at me. But as soon as they do, maybe if I'm lucky, I can hop right back into cover and get out of line of sight. So that's in there as well for folks that like to do that sort of thing. That's why Pulp Alley works the way it does. You end at the activation. You end your activation when you choose to commit to an attack or an action. That's going to end you right there because that's what we consider to be the most vulnerable, most exposed moment where you're committed to something. If you survive it, if you can hang in there, then you can always try to dodge back into cover or out of line of sight and that sort of thing. Let me know what you guys think. If you're not already subscribed, get subscribed to our little channel. Make sure you hit the like button and the bell, and we will see you very soon. Bye, everybody.